Hi, thanks for joining. It's Ray with Tarot Living. So today we're going to do something a little bit different, and I've actually been planning this video for a little while, and it's going to be all about practicing tarot and how to do that on your own. So I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute. Okay, so much of learning tarot, in my opinion, is really about having the capability to bring up information and connect information, and also to recognize symbolism and patterns within cards as quickly and as efficiently as you can, because when you're doing a tarot reading, there's usually a lot going on. You're worried about the communication piece of it with the querent. You know, you have a lot more responsibility and a lot more things to think about when you actually are doing a tarot reading for somebody. So on your own, this is what I would recommend that you do. This is a suggestion. This is what I do actually all the time. So it is probably daily almost for me that I practice tarot or learn tarot or read about tarot in one way or another, or obviously, you know, do readings. But the practice piece of it is the funnest part, and it's really something that you can do on your own. So this is how I actually do it. I randomly pick cards. And I usually I start with like a 2-card. So I don't typically do a 1-card read to practice tarot, because cards are usually in conjunction with each other. I mean, unless you're doing just a 1-card read on occasion. Typically, we're looking at how 2 or 3 or more or 10, you know, cards relate to each other. But we'll get to that in a minute. So I usually start by practicing with combining 2 cards together. So I'm just going to actually randomly pull cards, and I'm going to show you what information comes up for me and how I would present information, or just how I would even run through the information, what connections I'm seeing, you know, what I'm not seeing, that sort of thing. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to randomly pull tarot cards, and I'm going to show you how I sit at home and practice tarot. This is from the Anna K Tarot, which I really quite like. Haven't used it as much lately, but I really do like it. So I'm just going to randomly pull a couple of cards. That one. All right. I think I'm going to take these 2 and set those aside. Okay, that's interesting. So these ones are 2 of Swords and the Hermit card. 2 of Swords and the Hermit. Very interesting. So immediately, if I were to see these 2 cards, I know that this is an internal journey. This is very much an internal journey. So the Hermit is actually ruled by, or relates to, Virgo, and the 2 of Swords is Moon in Libra. So we do have Virgo that is feminine, and we have Libra that actually is masculine energy. But we have it ruled by the Moon, so it's Moon in Libra, which creates a whole watery, feminine element that's come into this reading. And the other thing that we know about the Moon is it's really about your emotional self, and it's about your internalized self. Really very similar to the concepts that we talk about with water and cups, because the Moon is water. So so for example, Cancer is ruled by the Moon. So the energy of Cancer is ruled by the Moon. Cancer is water, so that's why I say Moon is water, so it relates to water. So the very fact that Moon is all about your internal workings, it's about your instinctive nature, it's about your habitual nature, it's about the nurturing and mothering that you had as a child, and how you nurture others, how you nurture yourself. It's about your intuition and your inner guide, and when you go within. For example, the High Priestess is ruled by the Moon. So if you go within, the High Priestess is talking about that inner wisdom. And so the 2 of Swords has a real relatability to anything that is an inner searching, I guess you could say. And the Hermit card, which is relating to Virgo, I really consider, you know, the element of Virgo, or the sign of Virgo, to be about self-improvement and kind of searching, but not just searching. It's an earth sign, so they actually want to manifest something, and so it's really about self-improvement and mastery. So the Hermit card, really on a quest for inner knowledge and on a quest for further knowledge and greater insight. And he can either be the searcher or he can often be the teacher. So this, if I were to put these two cards together, this is very much about inner searching and really going within to figure out what's right for you. The Two of Swords is a card that is notoriously about having kind of two elements that you're trying to balance or think about, or decision that you're trying to make, but you haven't actually made the decision yet. You know, in the Rider-Waite deck, the person just has the two swords with the blindfold. And the blindfold actually represents that you're going within and searching within and using that moon energy to figure out which direction you want to go, because the person doesn't know. They're actually at a bit of a stalemate, we often talk about, or they're at a point before they've made a decision. I know Kip Huggins, I believe it was in one of her books, said it's kind of like that quiet point actually before you've made a decision, because before you make a decision you actually have no action. You're just contemplating and you're thinking about it. So it's that period of actually inaction before you've stepped into a decision. And the Hermit card is about all the inner searching and inner longing to find wisdom and to gain knowledge and to be spiritually connected and to have you know, balance and connection. And so this is really about inner searching, this particular connection of cards. So no matter what the, you know, question really is, you know, are you seeing a connection here between these two cards? And you can say, yes, definitely. We're seeing a connection because this person is going to be on some kind of quest for figuring out what they want, what they need, how they can maybe make that manifest, but they're not manifesting it yet. They're actually going within to search to figure out what's right for them and what's important. So I think that's what I would say about that. If they have a decision potentially that they're thinking about making, then they're before the decision. They're in the contemplation phase of that particular decision. If it's a question about, you know, do I need to be on my own for a period, or do I need to be around people, for example, you know, definitely on your own. This is very much a individualized searching and an inner searching. So that's what I would say about those two cards. So please let me know if you've enjoyed this video in terms of seeing how I'm practicing tarot by just pulling two cards and seeing the connections. Are they masculine? Are they feminine? Are they two wands? Are they two cups? Do they have connection with regard to the astrological symbolism, etc., etc.? Are the card meanings similar? Those are the things that you can practice, and you can do that on your own. So just give it a whirl and just sit down and pull two cards randomly and find all of the things you can find similar about them, and find all of the things that you really see a dichotomy or an opposition, because that in fact may be the purpose of that particular two cards coming up, is that really the person is not sure which way to go, or they're bouncing back and forth between oppositional forces or energies. So I hope this has helped. Give it a try, and if you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching Tarot Living. Take care.